Good people, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond. Hope everyone so far is having a good Labor Day. We're about 12-ish hours in to Labor Day, so if you are off work, hope you're enjoying it, and if you have to work, sorry to hear that, but hopefully you're having a great day. Anywho, we've just had our week one games, right? So some teams played in week 0, which is kind of a weird thing, but just had our week 1 games wrapped up. The last game, I believe, is Clemson, Georgia Tech. I think they play tonight, but anyway, most teams have played at least one game already, and a couple of the guys got to kind of tick me off a little bit, something that just drives me nuts. And what I will call them are cop-out coaches. And call them that because, you know, when you're a head coach at especially a Power 5 program and even one with a big name, you get paid a lot of money. And the reason is multiple reasons. Number one, it's a very difficult job to handle, right? A lot of public scrutiny. You can't do things that everybody, just the normal, person could do. Just because of, your name, who you are, your position, and then also the things that you're over, that you're responsible of. I mean, for most of these Power 5 programs, you're talking about essentially running a multi-million-dollar business because you are the CEO of said program, and these programs make a lot of money, like a lot of money. So, you get paid to represent those types of things. And to be a coach, and one that, especially in a time where things are high stress, right, after a game, especially after a loss, and you feel like your team didn't play well or whatever the case was, but to get in front of a microphone and a camera and had to make sure that dog's on a leash. But to get on in front of, in a press conference where millions of people are going to see this, some form or another, maybe not live, but millions of people are going to see this. And for you as a coach to put any real blame on your players, and then to also, or to throw some coaches under the bus, it's just unacceptable. And it's something that drives me nuts because the whole coaching and PR playbook is very simple. It is very simple. It is deflect praise and accept blame. That's it. If you can just do those things, you will get through majority of these unscathed. I mean, these coaches don't have to answer the difficult questions because a lot of times these reporters aren't asking them the difficult questions. And there's a fine line, and I get it, some of them do, but overall, these reporters have a fine line they need to balance because, number one, you don't want to be a jerk and try to embarrass a coach because then in the future, right, when it comes to questions being asked, things of that nature, you may not get picked. You may not get called on, and you want to get called on. So there is a delicate balance, not saying that the media doesn't do their jobs. They do ask some difficult questions, but overall, you can just keep it with the plain Jane vanilla answers. We're working on that. We're going to evaluate all things. We want to just put ourselves in the best possible spot to win. But for Brian Kelly, to me, one of their punt returners, and I can't remember the young man's name, but Brian Kelly mentioned him by name when he was answering a question. And I think the question was about mistakes. Nonetheless, it just, to put that, even to say that, well, we need to reevaluate that we put him out there, that's just, I am just not feeling that type of cop-out blame. And he did say we didn't lose the game because he dropped 2 punts, but nonetheless, you don't think this kid is already feeling bad enough by how he played? You don't think his friends are trying to, kind of encourage him? He knows he played poorly. He doesn't need you saying something like that. And it just, it might be some revisionist history on my part, or hindsight, but was watching the game yesterday with my wife, and I just told her, I'm like, I just don't know if this Brian Kelly thing is going to work. And someone had tweeted out his LSU, I think at the basketball game where he all of a sudden got an accent. But I just wonder if the culture is going to be a fit. And who knows, Brian Kelly may get down there and, may ultimately be successful. But, because he's been successful everywhere he's gone. But I just can't stand that. And maybe it's just me and my personal thoughts on Brian Kelly, but he just looks like the type of coach that would consistently do that. He had the comment, I think last year of Notre Dame. I think they actually won the game, where he's talking about, he would execute his players, and I guess he thought that was a funny joke or something. Like, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. And then Scott Frost, you're the other one. To make a comment that your offensive staff needs to be more creative is wild to me. Because number one, all things go through you, everything. You're the CEO, like I just mentioned. You're the CEO. You're the head coach. So there is no scenario, literally no scenario, where Scott Frost is unaware of the game plan. There is not a single one. So you can go with the cop-out answer, like you did, Scott Frost. But the stuff ultimately comes back to you. You're the head coach. You're the one who's 5-21 in one-score games or whatever it is. That is your record, your track record, not his, not the offensive. It's not the wide receivers coach. It's yours. So just own it. Like man, some of these coaches, like, to get paid millions and millions of dollars, like, and you can't just be a big boy and accept blame and deflect praise. It's not that difficult. But anyway, that is it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe on your way out. Thanks all. Peace.